All right, we are back. Hope you had a good break, got some water, got refreshed, got yourself back, sitting down, ready to get this knowledge. Because now we're bringing on Mr. Tim Storey. Hello, sir.
What a privilege. But I've been on since the beginning and I like where we're headed and some great, not just nuggets of truth, but things that people can apply to their lives. Don't you think so?
Oh, absolutely. It's all about bringing solutions, getting a better understanding of the physiology that we have in this body and how it functions so that we can begin to learn and bring awareness to where we may be going wrong and how to then begin to find and create changes and fix problems that we probably weren't even aware of.
So as you know, I'm going to be talking on mastering the art of the possible. You see
Mhm.
a whole lot of notes here. And then Billy, you're going to be coming through later and give us just a little bit about what you're going to be talking about.
Oh, I got a lot. I'll be talking about the science behind spirituality. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the new science that just came out in quantum physics that's absolutely mind blowing, that proves and backs up a lot of theories that I've been talking about for decades now. And so this new science, which just recently came out in 2022, verifies exactly what I've been saying for since I started this whole manifest destiny journey. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how that links with our spirituality. And then once I talk about that, I'm going to talk about specific manifesting techniques, and then I'm going to talk about financial literacy.
Okay, I love it. So I'm going to break up my session into two sections, Billy. One is I'm going to teach for about 40 minutes, and then I'm going to bring you on if I could, and we're going to let some people tell us what they've been learning, and also some Q&A based on what I'm talking about. Is that okay?
Sounds good. I
All right,
send
I'm
it in.
excited.
I'll let you start now.
Okay, I'm ready. All right,
All
everybody
right.
get ready. Let's take some notes. And I'm a studier, boy. I love to study. I love to do research. I'm kind of a nerd that way, where I probably study several hours a day. If I don't know a subject, then I like to try to figure out that subject and learn more about it. So today we're talking about master the art of the possible. If you could write that down, master the art of the possible. And for you that do not know, I wrote a book that came out 2 years ago in March. This coming March, it'll make 2 years. And this is it right here called The Miracle Mentality. And this book is published by HarperCollins, which is not easy to do. And I spent about 3 years researching this whole idea of the miracle mentality and if it was possible to live in it. How does one live in it? How does one express it? How does it change someone's life? And so this is the subject we'll talk about today: the miracle mentality, master the art of the possible. Okay. I have been traveling the world, as Billy said, for many years. And I've now been to 78 countries of the world talking to people. And what I have found is that people primarily live in three categories. And I want you to write this down. Number one, almost. Number two, most. And number three, utmost. Almost, most, and utmost. Now, almost, if you were to look it up in the dictionary, it would mean not quite, nearly. So you almost did it. Not quite, nearly. Kind of like almost there. So, what I have found in a lot of people is that when they set their goals, they almost get there, whether it has to do with their mindset or their job or their finances or their physical body or relationship goals. They constantly almost get there, not quite, nearly. Now, I have found that if you're not careful, that you can get used to the almost life and you just say, all right, I know how it is. I know I want to lose this much weight, but I only lose this much weight. So you start to almost get your mind to where it expects almost. So you have that almost. But the second level is the most. So again, if you were to break this down in the dictionary, it would mean the top of something. So you see my head only goes so high here, my hand only goes so high here because there's a top of something. So the most is the top of something. So like if I let go a helium balloon right now, it would rise, it would hit my ceilings here. These are high ceilings. They would hit the ceilings and the ceiling, and that's where it would stop. So the challenge with all of our lives is that some of us are supposed to be people that do these amazing projects, right? So when I say some of us, that should be all of us. So I want you to know that. So, but so many times, somebody that had a most mindset and a most spirit was kind of like mentored and tutored and coached by either parents or family members or teachers or religious leaders and almost stopped you at an almost when you were called to live at least at a most, which means like a ceiling. But the third level in my notes is the utmost. The utmost is the pinnacle, the top, the zenith. Okay, Tim Storey, why do you know so much about this subject? Because I wrote a best-selling book with Random House about this, uh, probably about 15 years ago, that literally went all over the world and is in so many languages called Utmost Living. And so I think this, we don't have to get stuck in an almost life. So if you look at your life right now, and I'm talking about the miracle mentality, I want you to have the miracle mentality in all of these areas of your life. Okay. So I want you to have it in your watch, in your mental life, in your mindset, with all that great things that we're teaching. Okay. I want you to have it in your mindset. Write this down. You want miracle mentality in your mindset. Then you also want it in your physical body. Okay. Thirdly, you want it in your job. Fourth, you want it in your finances. Fifth, you want it in your family. So just in those five areas, I believe that you can live an utmost life. I don't think that like two areas can just have to be okay. And then let's say a couple other areas are most, and only one is utmost. I believe that you can live utmost in every area of your life. And if you're allowed to do this in the chat, just say yes. Respond somehow, some way. Yes, 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 yes. Do you believe that this is possible, that we can live at an utmost level? Okay, so I'm teaching you master the art of the possible. Okay, master the art of the possible. So I write in my notes in this workshop, I will explain the doorway to magical living and that it begins with an inner revelation. Man, you're going to like this today. That life can still be magical no matter what you've been through, no matter what challenge, no matter what setback, if you've been through a divorce, if you've been through a bankruptcy, life can still be magical. All right, whether it's a dream that has died, love that was lost, or time that has passed, when we experience an inner revelation, come on, somebody, everything can change. Your dream can still happen. You can still fall in love again. You can still attain your childhood dreams and your adult dreams, and you can discover the magic in your life. So I get the opportunity to speak a lot. So 78 countries of the world. Uh, I speak anywhere from 8 people. My largest crowd is 85,000 people. I get the privilege to do a lot of nice things. Uh, be on tour with Oprah Winfrey and speak at her Super Soul Sessions seminar. Also do a 20 city tour that I did with Steve Harvey. But I love speaking in prisons. I love speaking in inner cities. I love speaking in senior citizens' homes. I just like lifting people up. But one day I was speaking in Soweto, South Africa, and I asked these little kids who were 5, 6, and 7, I said, what do you want to be when you get older? And one little girl said, I want to be like Beyonce. And then a little boy said, I want to be like LeBron James. And what was interesting to me is that even though they lived in a township, and even though their house was made of, you know, just like aluminum, they had these dreams.
Right.
Because I believe that you have royalty in your DNA. I believe that you are sentenced to success and that there's something inside of you that makes you different. So I want you to write down this quote. Okay, write down this quote. I have been born an original. I will not die a copy. Wow. I've been born an original. I will not die a copy. So you don't want to be anybody else but yourself. You know, you see these people that are billionaires and they live these interesting lives, but it's okay to be a billionaire, but you don't need to be exactly them or other people that are doing certain things. You've been born an original, don't die a copy. So I believe that this magical living starts with the inner revelation. Okay. And when you get that revelation, it leads to number two, and that is conviction. I want you to write this down. Put revelation, secondly, conviction. And then the third thing it leads to is action. That's when everything begins to be set in motion. Okay. So, because I've got so many notes here, I'm going to break some things down for you today. Okay. So, what is a revelation, Tim Storey? So, even if you've heard it, I want you to know that I've worked my life on this. So, really pay attention and write notes. A revelation is a disclosure. It is a disclosure where something is there, but now it's disclosed. Secondly, it is a declaration. It is a declaration. Thirdly, it is an acknowledgement, a disclosure, a declaration, and acknowledgement. So Oprah Winfrey calls it an aha moment. And now you see this like even little kids are talking about aha moment, which Oprah made very, very famous. So, according to the research that I did on the aha moment, that means a time of understanding,
Right.
a time of alignment,
Right.
a time of recognition. Now, watch how powerful this is. I've been saying this for years that I do not believe in chasing your dreams. I believe in cooperating with what God has said over our lives, or if you want to say it this way, of what the universe has said over your life. So for me, as much as I get to do in life, I don't really have a motive. I'm chasing it. To chase it is almost like you have 14 rabbits in a room and you go, okay, I'm going to release the rabbits, go get all 14 of them, and you're going to be happy. That's how a lot of people live. They're chasing rabbits. But how about this? What if you just had to cooperate with what already was spoken over your life? And what if you just had to come into alignment with what is spoken over your life? So I want you to write this down. Alignment to the assignment. Alignment to the assignment. Alignment to the assignment. Okay, so maybe you are supposed to go in real estate, alignment to the assignment. Maybe you're going to do what the rest of us are doing right now and be a thought leader and help change lives, alignment to the assignment. Okay, so you get a revelation, leads to conviction, leads to action. Aha moment is knowing, understanding, okay, and recognizing. So here's my first question to you that we'll answer a little later. At what age did you realize you were supposed to do something big? At what age? Were you 10 years of age? Were you 23? Were you 57? Were you 81? Okay. So I asked Oprah Winfrey this question in her backyard, just me and her talking as friends. And she gave me her age that she knew she was going to be Oprah. And I gave her my age. At 10 years of age, I promise you, something in me said, I am not going to live an almost life because I come from a family that was stuck in an almost life. 7 people in a 2-bedroom apartment in Compton, California. We were stuck in an almost life. And I said to myself, I'm not going to be stuck here at 10 years of age. So, at what age were you when you got a revelation that you were not going to have a regular life? Okay. So, revelation leads to conviction. The word conviction means, write it down, belief, persuasion, a deep understanding. So, one of the gifts that we're bringing you today, when you are hearing the teaching and going through the exercises that you just went to, is that on the teaching side with Billy and Elizabeth, what they are doing is that they are bringing you understanding, information, education. So it will build your belief. So you'll go from revelation to conviction. So when we're talking about health, I want you to go to revelation to conviction. You're going to walk in health. When we're talking about finances, I want you to go from revelation to conviction that that's going to happen. When I'm talking about doing amazing things on this planet, I want it to go from revelation to conviction. Conviction means belief, persuasion, and again, deep understanding. I say it this way: you got to know that you know that you know that you know. Some of you just know. Like if I said to you, you think you're going to own 2 or 3 houses within the next 5 years? Oh, maybe. You never know. No, I want you to know that you know that you know that you know. Do you believe that you're going to get in the best shape of your life within the next 12 months? Oh, maybe. No, I want you to know that you know that you know that you know. Now, with this guy, Michael Jordan, who used to play in the NBA and now living a great life as an owner of many things. One thing is about Michael Jordan is that this man had a revelation that he was Mike Jordan. He also had a conviction that he was Michael Jordan. And that conviction, as I said, was a belief, a persuasion, a deep understanding. He was like, put one defender on me, put a second defender on me, and I'll still be okay. I want to see you get that way in every area of your life. I want you to get that way mentally, clarity of mind, strength of mind. I want you to get that way spiritually, strong in your spirit, full of courage. Okay. I want you to get that way physically. I want you to get that way in your job. I want you to get that way in your finances. I want you to get that way in your family. Is it possible? Yes. I spent over 30 years life coaching people and seeing their lives go from almost to utmost. This is what we're teaching you today. It is possible to manifest a different life that you are living right now. Okay? So you have revelation, conviction, and then you have action. The word action means movement. Oh, this is so good. It means movement. It means activity. Activity. Remember when you were a kid, everything was activity. You woke up and you said, Mom, can I play? No, first you got to eat. Then can I play? Then no, you got to go to school. Then can I play? You're always looking for activities. So the word action means movement, activity, and operation. One thing that I'm learning from about Elizabeth's life and uh, seeing the fact that she is just active, she goes after it, she goes and gets it, okay, because she has a revelation of what she feels called to do. You see that also in Billy's life, where there's so many programs he has going on because he has a revelation conviction that leads to action. Okay, so I write in my notes, okay, it says, since we were kids, we have all believed in the magic of life. So I was speaking at this seminar and somebody questioned me on this. And she says, when I was a kid, I didn't believe in the magic of life. My childhood was terrible. I said, okay, so let's talk some more. I said, did you ever used to fantasize about anything or did you used to dream about anything? Oh, yeah. I used to dream about unicorns. I used to dream that I was going to be a princess. Well, that's what I'm talking about. She was dreaming and thinking about some form of magic, even if it wasn't about becoming something. So, since we were kids, we've all believed in the magic of life. That's what it meant to be young and have a childlike imagination. There was a promise. There was optimism. Come on. I hope you had a promise and optimism when you were little. Even though we were lower income, I had a promise. But over the years, I write, many times things happen that challenge our childlike faith. Wow, wow, wow. So we're not even thinking about living this magical life. We're just hoping to get through, live in the land of okay. But remember, I said, we're not going to live in almost. We're not going to live in most. We're going to live in utmost because in utmost, God did not create almost children. So I write here sometimes we get challenged by disappointment, pain, loss, and even depression. Okay. So I want you to think about this for yourself and you can answer during the Q&A. Where are you right now? Are you disappointed by maybe pain, loss, or depression? Okay. Are you going through this in any area of your life right now? Because I'm going to teach you how to walk through this. Okay. This is not just a time of inspiration, it's a time of preparation. All right. Despite our toughest setbacks, I write in my notes, there is a way out. Wow, wow, wow. When my father was a steel worker with a 10th grade education, and my mother worked at a Winchell's Donut Shop with a 6th grade education, I didn't know that someday I would get to life coach the biggest stars in the history of the planet. I did not see that coming. I'm trying to tell you, no matter what you are going through in life right now, just around the corner, something beautiful is trying to happen to your life. See, a corner is a bend or a curve. So right now, you might be sitting in what I said pain, loss, depression, disappointment. And you're like, come on, Tim Story. Number one, I never even heard of you. What are you trying to tell me? I'm telling you that just around the corner, everything can shift. I think about my friend Robert Downey Jr. I was first introduced to him in 1999. Where were you in 1999? And one of his friends said, "You know, I want you to help Robert out." And so Robert and I became friends, started working together, helping each other. My skill set helped him. His skill set helped me. That's how I tell it. And we are great friends to this day. I'm on his board for prison reform. He's like my brother. But he went from a setback, a challenge, living in an almost place because of addiction. And the next thing you know, he becomes Iron Man. But in 1999, when I met him, He did not see what was going to hit him in 2006. He was only, better hear me, 7 years away from something wonderful. What if he would have settled for an almost life and just said, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to master the art of the possible. I'm just going to be ready and just to be prepared to live the way I'm living. But Robert decided to follow these notes. I'm giving you the same notes I gave him. And I said, Robert, now listen to me. It's not going to happen overnight. Revelation, conviction brings action. Okay. I saw his life go from disappointment, pain, loss, depression to becoming truly one of the biggest movie stars in the world. So, my question to you as a life coach is that what are you going to become and where will you be in 7 years? I tell you where I think you're going to be up here. You're going to be living your utmost life. All right. You're allowed to say yes in the chat. Say yes in the chat. So I put, despite our toughest setbacks, there is hope. Did you just hear what I said? Despite our toughest setbacks, there is hope. There is a way to reawaken the inner child that is still inside of you and get to the point where we once again believe that miracles can still happen and magic is still possible. Wow, 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 wow. One of the great things in my life is I get to be around magical people. You know, I see what my buddy Deion Sanders is doing, what he did with Jackson State, and now he's over at the University of Colorado. I've known Deion over 20 years. I get to see so many magical people. I get to see what Billy is doing and helping people and writing books and changing lives. I'm here to tell you, despite your toughest setback, you can reawaken the inner child that is still inside of you, and you can walk in miracles and walk in the magic. I'm going to teach you how to do that today. Okay. So, how many of you are learning a little bit so far? Okay. Let's continue to go on. Now, I'm going to talk to you about this. I want you to write this down. How do we lose the magic? Write it down. How do we lose? How do we lose the magic, Tim Storey, Mr. Life Coach to the Stars? How do we lose the magic? I write down, it's very common to meet people in their adult lives living stuck. Oh, here we go. In the mundane, the messy, and the madness. It's very common to meet people in their adult lives living in the mundane, messy madness. In this book, The Miracle Mentality, I take a long time breaking into this. So when I'm talking about this right now, just know I've done so much research on just that statement. It's very common to meet people in their adult lives living stuck in the mundane, messy, and madness, and without much magic present in their lives. Remember what I said present in your life? That's in your mentality, okay? As Elizabeth was talking a lot about. And we'll talk more about that with Billy later. But in your mentality, you could have magic in the mentality, in your spirit life, okay, in your job, in your finances, in your family, in your imagination, in every part of your life. I write almost always when you look beneath the surface, at some point, people who lost their magic, right, had something that was challenging that took place in their lives. Okay. I call this a life interruption. I want you to write this down. Life interruption. Okay, write this down in your notes if you could. I want you to write down sight, like the sight of something. Secondly, the right, like the right of something. And thirdly, I want you to write down fight. Because I am convinced that every single person that's watching now live and will watch this later And some of you will watch it two, three, four, five times just to really get it in your spirit. That number one, you have the sight of something. That's where some people do a vision board, or some people just like to write down in their notepads and journal. But you have the sight of something. You have the sight. Okay. So you have the sight of a better life. You have the right to it. You have the right. You can do it. You have the right to it, especially in certain countries. You have the sight, you have the right, but you have to have the fight. You have to have the fight. And hearing the testimonies earlier of even Elizabeth talking about her journey to get to where she is, and also the battles that she fought, and she had to learn how to pick her battles and choose to fight the right things. And even if you look at Billy's life, he had the sight, he had the right, but he had to develop the fight. So one of the things that I want to stir up in you today is I want to stir up that fight in you, that even though a life interruption has hit your life, you're not going to say, you know what, Tim Story, I wanted to live an utmost life, but I decided just to live almost. I might go for most, but there's no way I could do utmost. I'm already 40 years of age. 40 is not old. 50 is not old. 60 is not old. 70 is not old. 80 is not old. 90 is starting to get a little older, but you can still flourish. My mother's going to be 92 March the 1st. She's going to be 92 years of age. But watch this. You can believe again from a life interruption. Tim, what is a life interruption? It is a disturbance. A disturbance. It is an interference. It is an intrusion. It's a disturbance. It's an interference. It's an intrusion. Now, let me give an example. I'm 10 years of age, and my family comes from struggle. And now my father's working at Bethlehem Steel, starting to make a little more money. So now we go from a two-bedroom apartment. Then we go to a three-bedroom house. And now we're in that three-bedroom house. And guys, we're thinking like we're really like living this big life. Three bedrooms with seven people. So here's how it goes. My father goes to get my mother food. It's about 7 o'clock at night. He's driving. A man runs a red light, hits him, boom, hits him sideways, and takes his life. The man ran a red light. So my father never ever comes home again. So my mother has five children. One is out of the house already because my sister got married. But my mother has four children at home that she is primarily taking care of them. Pay attention. And we got hit by a life interruption. The question is, what interruption have you been hit with and by? And did it take away your magic? A little of your magic, a lot of your magic, or maybe all your magic? So watch this. This life interruption hit of my father losing his life. And now we had trouble because my mother, she didn't even know how to drive. She had to learn how to drive. My father used to handle all the bills, and he used to govern the life of our family. So now we were in this life interruption. But I write in my notes, people, I write in my notes that number one, when this happens to many people, they sit in their setback. I want you to write this down. When Oprah Winfrey interviewed me for the first time, she wanted to talk to me about it's time for your comeback. And every airport I'm in, every mall that I'm in, people always come to me and they've seen me on various things, but they like to talk to me about the comeback because on many platforms of the world, I get to teach about the comeback. But here's what many people do. They sit in their setback. Write that down. Secondly, they settle in that setback. And thirdly, they cement themselves in a setback. Okay. In about 5 minutes, I'm going to ask for Billy to come on and we're going to dialogue about this. People sit in their setback, settle in their setback, and they cement themselves in their setback. Now, so the question is, what life interruption has hit you, whether it be an illness? Some of you got lupus. You didn't know you had lupus. Some maybe happened to your brain. Maybe you were in an injury. Maybe you were in an accident. Maybe some fool left you. What life interruption hit you that made you want to sit in your setback, settle in your setback, and cement yourself in your setback? So I want you to write down this quote that people have been quoting me around the world, and this one quote for 20 years. When you're feeling the sting of your setback, life is preparing your comeback. When you are feeling the sting of your setback, life is preparing your comeback. Do you know how powerful that is? So let's say you were hospitalized, feeling the sting of your setback. Life was preparing your comeback. No matter what you've been through, no matter what I've been through, while I was feeling the sting of my setback, life was preparing my comeback. So, Tim Storey, what do I have to do to come back? I'm going to teach you a little later in the seminar. But before I do that, and before Billy comes up, I was I was talking to some friends who were around Motown Records from the very beginning. So I'd done this research. Motown was started in 1958 in Detroit. Some of you people know that already. Started by a man by the name of Berry Gordy. But Barry said that they had so many setbacks that happened, so many setbacks that were taking place in trying to get this record company off the ground for many, many reasons, including racial reasons. Okay. But he said he decided not to just sit in his setback or settle in his setback, but he decided to have this comeback, the sight, the right, the fight. There was a fight in him. And could you imagine that if Barry Gordy did not get up and fight when Motown looked like it was going under, would never become Hitsville, USA? We would maybe have not have heard of Diana Ross the same way. Okay, she's so good, maybe somebody would have signed her. But out of Motown came Diana Ross, Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder, come on, people, the Temptations, the Four Tops, Marvin Gaye, and even the Jackson Five. So if you sit, settle, and cement yourself in your setback, and you say, you know, Tim Storey, Mr. Miracle Mentality, Mr. Master the Art of the Possible, I feel like sitting down in my setback. You don't know what I've been through. Well, you don't know what Barry Gordy went through to create Motown. And now we get to listen to Diana Ross, Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder, Temptations, Four Tops, Marvin Gaye, the Jackson Five. Who is waiting to listen to your story? Wow, wow, wow. Who is waiting to listen to your sound? Because Billy got back up in times that he's failed. Somebody was waiting to listen to what he had to say. All right, Billy, can you come on for a minute?
All right. So good so far, man. So such an intriguing story and a lot of similarities to my life story as well, which is pretty amazing.
So, this idea is this I was talking at the beginning, as you know, the three levels of living: almost, most, and utmost.
Yep.
So, the almost is not quite, nearly, sort of. And as you know, what takes place in a lot of people's families is that people almost graduate a lot.
Right.
And so then it becomes a pattern. And they say, well, my sister almost graduated and you let her off, or my brother almost graduated. And so it starts to be this pattern of the almost.
Hmm.
So you saw how I talked about how we have to get to the point where we say, okay, number one, we're not going to be almost. Number two, we're not even going to be most because most means there's a ceiling.
Right.
And I think part of our connection as men is that we just believe there's no ceiling.
Hmm.
And so that is that utmost place.
Right.
Okay. And then I talked about to everybody watching today and everybody that will watch is that these life interruptions happen. It could be an illness, it could be an accident,
Hmm.
it could be a relationship that went sour, it could be somebody stole your money, but you got interrupted, which is an intrusion. Okay. You didn't expect it, it just came. But Billy, as you know as well as me, when those life interruptions happen, most people don't know how to get back up.
Yeah.
Maybe
Most
let me
people get
start
stuck.
with you. Why do you think they don't know how to get back up? And then we'll go to the audience.
Well, a lot of it's programming. One thing that we've been programmed to see in this world is people falling all the time, and
Yeah.
a lot of people don't get back up. So if you see a lot of people falling, especially people within your circle, and you don't see them rising to the occasion and excelling beyond where they fell, you almost take on the mentality, or most people take on the mentality as well. If they couldn't do it, I know I can't do it because from their perspective, so and so is a pretty strong person. And so gave up. I mean, I'm going to give up. I remember I was going to go do a lecture, my
Mhm.
first Egyptian mystery school at Dame Dash Studios. I think that was in 2018. And it was a huge opportunity for me to be in the studio working and collaborating with Dame Dash
Of
and to have,
course.
yeah, 500 people show up and pay $500 a ticket to stay for a 2 day, 16-hour class. I get there on Friday night. The event is supposed to be Saturday morning starting at 11 a.m. and Sunday morning starting at 11 a.m., going all the way
Yeah.
till almost 10 o'clock at night both days. The night before, I'm all in my hotel room. I'm taking my time. I said, let me open this PowerPoint presentation and just glance over it real quick before I lay down, just to refresh
Oh
my
yeah.
memory on a couple things. Can't find it.
Ooh.
Somehow it didn't make it to the cloud. It wasn't backed up on that particular laptop. The first day was 8 hours of class teaching, and all my notes, all my PowerPoints, everything
Oh man.
didn't make the trip with me. And I'm sitting there going with one of the greatest opportunities of my life, only hours away from beginning, and I have zero, I have nothing. A lot of people would have called in an excuse, made up I got sick, some so
Oh
in the
yeah.
family died. You know what I'm saying? My computer got a virus. I mean, you name it, any excuse but to have to go face these people with no information, no graphics, no images, no video clips, nothing. They would have just said, we got to reschedule this, and they would have took the loss in most cases.
You're
I
right.
didn't do that. I stayed up from 11 o'clock p.m. that night all the way until 10 o'clock a.m. the next day and gave myself 1 hour to get to the location. And I remade the whole 8 hours out of my head, out of my memory and everything else, all the research I had done to create it in the first place. Spoke that whole day and stood up the whole 8 hours. I never sit down when I speak unless I'm
Yeah.
at a desk like this. When I'm in live, I'm always standing. And then did the Q&A at the end, the pictures. Long story short, 10 hours go by. I raced back to the hotel because I have to create another 8 hours for the next day. You know,
Incredible.
so I had been up 3.5 days straight, combined days, to pull that whole thing off, and it went off, and it's the most viewed series on Forbidden Knowledge TV now because it's been put into the distribution on my network now. But yeah, most people would have never done that.
So that's very powerful. So in my thinking, you're so right. So when somebody have this light interruption like you had, everything's missing, it's not even in
Mhm.
the cloud. But I want to know what made you dig down deep inside where you said, I'm gonna pull this off. I think a lot of people watching right now, what happens is because they did not have the right tutors and the right mentors
Mhm.
that knew how to dig down, but not
Yeah.
only just the willpower, but the way you're educating people. See, the
Yeah.
more that we are learning about each other, me and you, we want to educate people up and out.
Yeah.
We're not just trying to educate you up, we're educating you out of where you've been and into something better. So What was that resolve within you, Billy, that you said, somehow I'm going to rise up?
I learned a lesson a few decades prior, a very important lesson. I had my own marketing company long before the internet even existed, but this is pre-internet. I had a real marketing company. We would do, mail order marketing, call center marketing. I would contract out call centers. I had TV commercials, and
Yeah,
so I had my own marketing agency, and I was pretty good. And this one huge company, the company is super massive now. They're a multi-billion-dollar corporation now, but they were just getting started, and they wanted to, through a friend of mine, wanted to use my services. They had asked for a referral from this guy that I knew who was a very successful businessman. He passed it on to me to give me the opportunity to blow up with this company. The contract over a 10-year period of time was worth close to $1 billion. I would have been a billionaire right now already. Yeah. And so here's what happened. That morning I get up to go to the first meeting with this company, there's a flat tire on my car. I'm like, oh man, I
oh
got
yeah,
a suit on, you know, I'm clean. I don't feel like this is back, before you could just press a button and people show up and, I didn't even have AAA.
oh
And I'm
yeah.
like, oh my goodness, I got to change this flat tire. I said, you know what? I ain't going to go. I'll just reschedule this for next week. It won't be a big deal. So I called my friend and say, look, call them and tell them I got a flat tire. I won't be able to make it today. We'll have to reschedule for another day, but we're definitely going to get this thing done. And the call to reschedule never came. And then one day I
Incredible.
called my friend. I was like, hey, what's happening? They want to reschedule? What's going on? He's like, no, they don't want to reschedule. I said, why not? He said, because you didn't show up. I'm like, yeah, but I had a flat tire. He says, you had a flat tire. He said, let me ask you a question, Billy.
Yep.
If I told you that your boss at your job, imagine you had a job with a boss and he told you that you, your wife, and your kids will be on the street tomorrow if you don't show up to work today, regardless of what happens. Would you be there? He said, what if you had four flat tires when you woke up? I said, well, if that was the case, I would have got all my tires fixed somehow. He said, you see, that's exactly the point. You would have found a way. And in their eyes, you didn't deem it important enough, their meeting important enough to find a way to get there, whether it was a taxi, a friend to drop you off, a bus, a train, any kind of way. You didn't make the effort. You just, so from their perspective, from their mindset, this guy at the slightest bump in the road, he's going to walk, he's going to bounce, he's going to become flaky, he ain't going to get it done.
Yeah.
Any little bit of resistance, he won't come through.
I think there's your
And
answer right there.
that's
That's the
it. So I
answer.
learned. I learned from that.
That's the answer. And I think that even like people, Billy, that have been watching you a long time, that they like come right to the shore and they don't step all the way in.
Hmm.
So I want to challenge some of you that are watching. Maybe you're coming on for the first time to one of these workshops. Step all the way in. Don't just be a person that put your foot in just for a minute. Step all the way in. That's what Billy learned from that situation. You got to find a way to get there. So Billy, let's do one question and I'm going to go on in my notes here. But this idea of I want to know if anybody wants to tell me at what age did they realize they were supposed to do something that was magical in life or big in life. And I've told you this before in us dialoguing that a lot of people I coach, they say, "Man, I knew it when I was 8. I knew I knew I was supposed to do something magical when I was
Hmm.
12 or 14."
Yeah.
But then I get surprised. Some people say, "I didn't know until I was 53 years of age."
Hmm.
So, Billy, how is it? How can we go about this? If somebody wants to tell us at what age
Hmm.
did they know what they were supposed to do, or did they knew there was something magical about it, and maybe we can hear from them.
Yep, I'm trying to pull some people. I'm sending them the link to enter this live chat right now to ask a couple of questions. I've sent out a few. I'm sending out some more. If you're watching right now and you want to ask Tim Story a question or answer his question, just click the link that I'm texting you right now. If you haven't texted us yet, text hashtag manifest to 954-245-0086, and I will send you back the link to click on right now in real time to join us here live on the video stage and answer and ask Tim Story's question. So I'm
Yes.
sending some people the link now.
Okay, so as you're saying that, we were talking about these life interruptions, the disturbance that comes in, but you have to get to the point where, as Billy and I are talking about, you got to have the sight to something. You got to know you have the right to it, but then you have to fight. But that right to it is interesting, huh, Billy? Because a lot of people in our culture of struggle, we didn't think we had the right to live
Right.
this.
A lot of people literally didn't believe it was their birthright to be abundant, to be successful, to manifest their best life. They had succumbed to their environment and their surroundings and literally relinquished all their power to outside sources instead of believing in their own power and believing that they deserve better.
Man, it's so many barriers that are needing to be broken in so many families. It only takes one family member to rise up and show people it is our right to live this way.
Hmm. Yeah. And you're going to meet some resistance in the beginning because for whatever reason, a lot of them are not going to believe you. And
Yes.
so they're going to, and some are going to get envious and some might get jealous a little bit too. So just part of the process. We do have a gentleman on here. Baba Person says he's going to come on the live. So let me bring him on in.
One family member to rise up and show people it is our right.
You're gonna have to. Hey, Mr. Baba Person, how you doing? Yeah, turn the volume down. But thank you for coming on.
Thank you for allowing me to come on to Billy and Tim Story. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm in Southern California today, and I'm loving this workshop. I've been listening the whole time.
I am in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Lauderdale,
Yep.
and
Nice. You right
I would
around the
like to
corner
pose
from
my
me.
question.
Go ahead.
Is it all the way down? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was manifesting in Guyana, born in Guyana, South America, and I'm 77 now, and I was colonialized by the Europeans, so I was not able to tap into my God gifts and talents and my natural gifts, and so it took me a while to get to know myself. And around 1983, I started my first business in Brooklyn, New York, and
Mm.
actually in 1981. I started to do a couple of businesses while I was working for the corporation, and then eventually I opened up my first storefront in Brooklyn, New York, at Livingston and Smith. So, and between that time of 1945 and 1983, I was talking colonialism from
Mm.
Christianity to a whole lot of mumbo jumbo stuff. So what you say to people like us that was colonialized for many, many years, and I see similar patterns throughout the islands and also in America and Africa, where people are developing a European people to sustain and maintain themselves instead of finding their natural gifts and talents and believing themselves and moving forward. So I can equate some of these things that Billy was speaking about himself and his family when he's growing up in Liberty City. So can you expound on that for me, please?
Yes. Okay. So, Billy, we'll go ahead and take him off the screen, but great
Mhm.
seeing you. And that's a
Thank
great
you, sir.
question. Billy and I are going to answer that right now. Thank you. So Billy, my take on it would be from the notes that I'm going to give him. Okay.
Mhm.
So number one, no matter what culture that we've been raised in, um, and this goes to all races, that many times there's that suppression, that control that takes place. And so to answer his question, then how do we break the cycle? Number one, we have to become awake. And this is what's happened in many, many different cultures where there was a spokesperson, whether it be a man or a woman, whether it was the spoken word or the written word, that caused a lot of us to become awake, right? And so, Billy, even what you're doing in a lot of your teaching on science
Mhm.
and teaching on data, uh, you are opening the minds of so many people where they're becoming awake. The second thing you have to do to break through the system and the cycle and break through the roof is you then have to take inventory. You have to say, how much has this limited us? Like, like you need to ask your uncle, how many generations down has this been
Right.
that we've been living off government cheats? So number one, you become awake. Number two, you take inventory. And number three, watch how powerful this is. You better find some new principles.
Good.
And this is one reason we're doing this workshop today, is because we are putting new principles, new ideas, new patterns, new thoughts into your mind and into your spirit of who you're supposed to be. So when I talk about those things, Billy, what goes to your mind?
Oh, listen, that's powerful. I mean, that's exactly what we have to do. We have to realize that the condition that we are in, once we realize it, then our mission becomes to focus on a solution to the problem,
Yep.
become a part of a solution to the problem, and then in some way find some way to help awaken other people to the issue, which can be a very delicate task because you can't beat people over the head with the new information that you were able to now become awoken to. You have to find ways to reach them where they are. So you have to learn how to drop seeds. You got to drop
Woo!
seeds and then watch those things sprout and grow. If you try to come too hard, you're going to really hurt them because when a tree is a sapling, the limbs are very easy to bend. They're very flexible.
Yeah.
But when a tree is fully deep rooted and grown into a mature tree, if you try to bend the limbs, they snap. So
So
you have
good.
to be very delicate on how you handle people around you. But the best way I found was to drop little seeds and watch them grow and watch them come back and ask more questions and watch them then slightly get more interested and drop a few more seeds a little bit at a time. You got to be very gentle and you got to take your time. And then also the last thing I would say is to build unity because you can't make any powerful movement to change an entire system without unity.
I love that. Okay, so Billy, I'm going to talk for about 45 minutes, 50 minutes, and then bring you back up. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah, we have one more. I think we had two more people that hopped on mute.
Okay, let them come first then, because I
Okay.
like this interaction.
Hello, Jewel Moon.
Oh, hi.
Hi
I
there.
cannot hear you. Some reason.
Can you hear
Our
me?
sound is on.
Um,
You can't hear?
I cannot hear.
Okay.
Some reason I
Alright.
don't hear.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, the sound is on. Let's try somebody else real quick. One last one. Salvador.
Hey, how's it going?
All
Hi,
right.
Salvador.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the workshop today.
Thank you for having the workshop.
Appreciate you, man. You had a question for Mr. Story. Did you want to answer? When did you first realize you became awoke?
I mean, I first realized, I don't know, when I was a kid. I remember, I don't know, I was probably 8 or 7 when I actually remember that I was actually born to do something that just, I mean, I don't know. That's just when I can remember it. I mean, I don't know. Kind of nervous.
No, but
All
here,
right, man.
let us help you with this.
Yeah.
So, when you think about this idea of this workshop, we're teaching you how to manifest in so many areas of your life. Okay, tell me what gets you excited about manifesting, and what does this manifesting look like? Does it mean getting out of debt? Does it mean buying your first house, your second house? What does manifestation mean to you? Because I'm teaching you that you could have this magical life. So what does that mean to you? Just tell me real quick.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I see my history, and I've been manifesting a lot with my life, and there's things that I've manifested. I'm learning. I'm learning to do more, and I don't know if in this workshop I just want to like condense it and just do it faster or do it more efficient.
Good.
Billy, what would you say? What would you say to faster and efficient? What advice
Yeah.
would you give him right now?
That's great advice because there's levels to the game. Okay. There's levels to everything. So what I hear from you is you're already aware of manifesting. You are aware of your inner power to be able to manifest, which is phenomenal. You have already executed some of the different steps and stages that it takes to be able to manifest things, and you've seen some of the results of the manifestation. That's
Yes.
also positive. The thing about manifesting is there's levels to it. You can be a person that's an amateur, you can be intermediate, or you can become a master at manifesting. At the master level, manifestations come almost instantly. I think about things, I speak things, and I see them pop up within sometimes minutes, sometimes days. And so I understand exactly what you're saying. My portion of this whole workshop, which is coming up next, is specifically targeted toward what you're looking for. How do you become a master at manifesting? How do you speed up that process? How do you execute and communicate with the universe effectively? What is effective communication between the synapses going on inside of your head, between your neurons, and the universe as a whole? So if you stay tuned, you'll be able to get an in-depth answer to that question.
I love it. And Salvador, I want you just to think about this for a second. What Billy is saying is true. You could become a master manifester. I'm around women and men of all ages that they just know that they know that they know that they know. That's got to be interesting to you, I'm sure. So,
It- it-
Salvador, thanks for coming on
it's-
today. Okay, we're
All right,
proud
thank
of you.
you.
We're proud
Thank
of you.
you.
All right. Do you have room for one more? Or you want to go into the rest of your presentation?
No, let's have. I love the interaction because this is what
Well,
me and you are about.
Like,
If you're watching and you want to come on the live, you have to turn your TV at your home off so there's no feedback on the line.
Hi
Okay,
again.
All right, you're back.
I'm done. It's meant to be. I manifested. I'm so grateful to both of you to say this. And I don't want to go into my life story because that's a nightmare and I'm over it. I never stuck in that area. But I always know I'm going to one day decide having children, I have to do something or I'm going to. And I got paralyzed and I recovered and I learned so many things afterwards because I just knew one day something going to happen.
Yeah.
But I got a little setback because I got a lot of nerve damage. I'm constantly in pain and things, but I still push myself. So I think maybe my answer coming to me now for I'm talking to you, and I guess mentally I'm getting my own answer.
That's how it works.
For I need to get out a relationship, but I think I created a fantasy world what should be, and is not that, and I need to move on. But I feel that person so lost, and maybe I'm here for to teach him. So I don't know, but I need to move on, and so
Billy,
that was my question. Yes.
Here's what I want to say to you. And I was say this to Billy first. Is I'm so proud of her because she realizes that this is not how she's supposed to live.
Mhm.
And I'm also proud of her that she is willing to learn from the past, but not live in the past.
Mm.
Okay. And not sit in the setback, as I teach in my notes, not settle in the setback and not cement yourself in the setback. So thank you for being with us today. Stay with this workshop because we're just warming up. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful. Thank you. And a lot of blessing, both of you. Amazing,
Thank you so
amazing
much.
person. Thank you.
You're very
You should
courageous.
run for the president. I vote for you. I'm manifesting you.
I appreciate that. You're a very courageous person, and we appreciate you and we love you. So thank you for coming on and sharing that with us because that took a lot of courage.
You did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a great
All right.
afternoon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. I think that's it. Yeah.
But Billy, really good. I mean, the fact that she knows she has been through so much pain and she's still working through other things that she mentioned.
Right.
But this idea of that sight, that right, and that fight. And to me, you just got to get tired of being tired of being regular, tired of being broke, tired of being, and both of us have discussed this as friends. We just got to that point. We just decided that's not us, right?
Exactly. Listen. I sat in I was in the house looking out of the window as a 7-year-old kid, and my mom walked up and said, "What's wrong, son?" And I said, "I don't belong here. I just don't belong here. I just knew that this wasn't the life for me. This wasn't my destiny." And from that moment on, I made it an active decision in my mind that I would do whatever it took to change this reality to one that I saw fit for myself.
Yeah, that's so powerful. But Billy, when I read that illustration about Barry Gordy in 1958, think of all the oppression that came against him, even as a person of color, as a black man in America, starting that record label.
Yeah.
But because he fought, we heard the voices of Diana Ross, Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder, Temptations, Four Tops, Marvin Gaye, Jackson 5.
Yeah.
People that are listening, we want to hear the response and the reaction to the fact that you decided to just keep on fighting.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
It's more than just us, right?
Oh, yeah, it's way more. The decisions we make now to fight
Yep.
or run affect future realities. Are we going to
Yes.
fold underneath the pressure? And now we have a whole different outcome where we don't have those great musical talents to look back on? Or do we fight and then that changes the future? So every time you make a conscious decision to either fight or fold, you are creating ripples in space time. Those
Wow.
ripples travel through the space time continuum and alter the future reality in the third dimension.
Yes. So good. All right, we're going to get into the next section, and that's
Okay,
going to be 3 stages of being. Okay, and then I'll bring you up in about 45 minutes or so.
no problem. All right, cool.
All right,
Take
I'm
it
loving
over.
this. I'm loving
Okay.
this. All right, guys, let's keep changing lives. So write down 3 stages of being. 3 stages of being. See how organized my notes are? 3 stages of being. So I write, each of us lives many times in one of these 3 states. Number 1 is mundane. Mundane. Number 2 is the messy. I beg you to write this stuff down. It's going to change you today. The mundane, the messy. The third one is the mad, like the mad or the madness. The mundane, the messy, the mad. But then I say, but in reality, we all want to live in the magical. So many people live in these 3 states of being mundane, messy, and mad. But in reality, we know we're built to live a magical life. When you say magical, Tim Storey, what do you mean? I mean extraordinary. I mean supernatural. I mean not the norm. I mean not regular. Like when I was a kid and I wanted Levi's jeans and they gave us something like Levi's, or I wanted Converse tennis shoes and they gave us almost Converse. Come on, people. You know you're not supposed to live in the mundane. Many people get caught up in the messy, and we never get to that magical place. So I write in my notes, what is the mundane? The dictionary defines mundane as boring, dull, monotonous. I want you to write this down. What is the mundane? You're gonna teach this someday to somebody. It is boring, it is dull, it is monotonous. It is, watch this, lacking interest. Wow. How many people do you know that are living in a mundane life? They're just stuck. They go to the job, they drive the same way, they listen to the same music. They've been getting their haircut the exact same way since 1986. They are stuck in the mundane. And not to put people down, but have you ever been driving with somebody and they're just so monotonous, so uneventful, lacking interest? And it's not a medical problem or anything that I'm saying. I'm just saying life got sucked out of them. You could feel the oxygen come out of the car. So that's the mundane. Okay. The uneventful, lacking interest, monotonous, not exciting. I write, the mundane limits us. It can be easy to spend too much time in mundane versus the time of growing, challenging yourself, and taking on new adventures. When we spend too much time in the mundane, we begin to sit settle and cement ourselves in our present place. So, you know, there's many things that are limited. There's even a store called The Limited. We have got to get to the point where we say, you know what? I am not going to live in what I call the land of okay. How's your husband doing? Okay. How's your wife doing? Okay. How are your kids doing? Okay. You are not called to live in a mundane life, monotonous, uneventful, lacking interest or excitement. The mundane life will limit you. It's a break. It's time to break into your regular. I write in my notes. What do you mean by that, Tim Storey? Break into your regular. Break into who you're supposed to be, who you're called to be, who you are destined to be. The key to getting different results in life is to being willing to do something different. If you want to if you want to break the mundane and the ordinary out of your life, you have to be willing to make different choices. And you've heard that said before. In order to get somewhere you've never been before, you have to do something you've never done before. In order to get somewhere you've never been before, you got to do something you've never done before. That is the mundane. Now, we have to do mundane things. I do too. I have to throw the trash. That's mundane. I have to do the dishes. That's mundane. I have to go to the DMV sometimes. That's mundane. But you can learn to master your mundane and not let the mundane master you. Okay. All right. Second stage is what I call the messy. All right. The dictionary defines mess as untidy, disorganized. Wow. Undone. So good. Unkept. Unmanaged. Unmaintained. All of us have lived in neighborhoods where some people's yards are really nice. And then some people's yards, they just let them go. So in my neighborhood, it's amazing. I would say 80% of the houses, they did the best they could with their yard. Because we weren't hiring gardeners where we lived. But there was this one family, they had 3 adult boys. And their grass was always so high. There was always weeds everywhere. They just let the whole yard go, front yard and backyard. Now, there was no reason for it. In fact, 2 of the boys were really great athletes. They would go practice hard, but yet they just let the yard go. Why is that important? Ooh, you can tell a lot about a person about those small things. So the messy is the unmanaged, unmaintained, undone, things that are untidy, out of place. All right, how things can get messy. There's a concept in science called entropy, ENTROPHY, which says that all matter in the universe tends towards disorder. You should hear this. Translation, when things are left unchecked or unmaintained, they can get very messy fast. That's why our life requires constant care, good habits, and a desire to maintain order. Come on, people. We have to clean up our messes. We have to clean up our messes. I'll never forget my mother. She said to us one time, she said, you know what? We might be lower income because my sisters were starting to figure out we couldn't buy all that much. But we are not lower class. And so one thing about our house, it wasn't big, but it was clean. The dishes were done. The floors were done. My sisters knew how to mow the lawn, and we knew how to do the dishes as 2 boys. So I love what my mother said. We might be lower income, but we're not lower class We're not going to let things just get so messy that this is just the way it is. It's time to break out of your messy. The key to getting different results in life is being willing to do something different. If you want to break the messy and the undone, you must be willing to make a different choice. In the case of the messy, it means being willing to put something new into your mindset and into your spirit that says, I'm going to break this cycle. Wow. You cannot even enjoy the magical when you're living in the mess. In fact, I think sometimes the magic has hit some of your lives and you're not realizing it because something messy is going on. So remember, I talked about earlier the different areas of your life. You have your mental, you have your spiritual, you have your physical, you have your job, you have your finances, you have your relationships, you have your family. Okay. And I believe that you could have miracles that are hitting certain areas and you're missing it because of the mess that comes in. Now, the third state of being is the madness. The madness. Third state of being is the madness. What is madness, Tim Storey? It is the drama, the behavior that breeds negative results. It could be uncontrollable emotions or behaviors. How many of you were raised in a bunch of madness? And what did it feel like? What did it do to you? How did it affect you? Madness is the drama, the behavior that breeds negative results, uncontrollable emotions, and bad behaviors. The things we repeatedly do that doom us to repeat are cycles of failure. The madness I write can affect our relationships, our children, if you have children, our health, our dreams, and our aspirations. I think we better attack the madness. Come on, people. We can't tolerate it. We got to attack it. We have to attack it. I'm going to teach you how to do that. Okay? But look at all the areas that it can hit. In the madness, all right, many people get caught up in the drama. The drama removes you from opportunities that are magical. Let me give you an example. You could be watching your child play soccer and they score a goal, the first goal they've scored, and they've been playing 7 games. And you miss it because your mind is so messy and even full of madness. Man, that's real. I honestly think that we have become like human doings rather than human beings, and we're not in that moment. So I say this, the drama removes you from the opportunities to really understand when the magic is there. Yep. It can tie you down, entangle you in chaos, and drain your energy. People, it's happened to me. Because of what I do for a living and helping people and loving to change people, I used to have a problem in my 30s and my 40s where I used to give too many people my phone number and just try to help everybody at once. And what I found is that some people just don't know when to call and they just start taking advantage of things and just kind of bringing their drama on to another person's life. And what happened is that I went from clarity to my life started feeling messy. And then it literally escalated to madness. And I had all these amazing good things happening, but I was not enjoying them. And I had to clear the clutter. So maybe I write in my notes, it's time to break the madness. We all have the power to escape the madness, all right, and push through the drama and find the magical moments. But some of you are going to have to change your partners. So you could be the right person with the right plan, but you got to have the right partners around you. And I want you to think about that. Do your partners celebrate you? Do your partners lift you up when you're down? Do they keep you warm when you're cold? Do they cover your backside? Do they get excited when big things happen in your life? If not, you might have to rearrange your partnership. So, we talked about the mundane, the messy, the madness. Okay. What state are you living in? And maybe none of those. Are you in the mundane? Are you in the messy? In the madness? Write it down on your notes. So I have a question for you. Do you believe in miracles? Do you believe in miracles? A miracle means, as I said earlier, something that is supernatural. It is extraordinary. It is uncommon. Wow, 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 wow. Well, most people in the world that have been polled believe in some form of miracles. The miracle of breaking a mindset, the miracle of breaking through situations that used to be in our lives that held us back. But I believe that more than just believing in miracles, as I showed you before, I wrote a whole book on you could have a miracle mentality where your mindset is on miracles. And a miracle mentality can change your reality. I want you to write that down. A miracle mentality will change my reality. A miracle mentality will change my reality. A miracle mentality will change my reality. Now, so if you believe in miracles, I want you to write this down. Number one, you got to go from believe me, write down believe. And I'm loving teaching you, just so you know. You got to go from believing in miracles. You'll remember this the rest of your life. Secondly, to expecting miracles. Some people believe in a miracle, but they don't expect the miracle. And then you got to learn to receive miracles. Oh, I'm going to tell you why some of you don't want miracles because you feel so shameful or you don't deserve them, is what you think. And you're wrong about that. You got to go from believing to expecting to receiving to where you can become a miracle. When I look at the people that are doing this workshop today with Billy and Elizabeth, they have become a miracle. People are looking to them. You got to believe, you got to expect, you got to receive, then you become. And then this part I like, you begin to release miracles. You literally become an answer to prayer to somebody's life. If you ever travel with me on an airplane, you will see that people will come up to me and want to talk to me about their problems because they know that I'm a comeback coach. They know that I'm a miracle mentality coach. And so they're thinking, man, this guy is flying LA to Dallas. I'm going to talk to him. It happens almost every single time. I'll just be sitting there. Someone will tap me and say, don't mean to bother you. I saw you. Can I ask you a question? What a beautiful thing to have happen, right? So the question is, do you believe in miracles? Do you believe in something uncommon, not regular, not the norm, something incredible? But you got to go from believing. So what does believing mean? In my notes, it means to trust. Write this down. We're doing a workshop. It means to trust. It also means, watch this, to rely. It means to trust, it means to rely, it means to have confidence in. All right. So to believe in something is to trust in it, rely in it, have confidence in it. So that's, you got to believe. But I said you got to go from believing to expecting for miracles. So you're going to love this part. The word expect means anticipate. You better get ready for a good February, good March, good April, good May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Tim, how come you can say all this? because I expect it. Expect means to anticipate, await, AWAIT, to look forward to. I was at a place called Disneyland, and these little kids, they were looking up into the sky, and the parents were talking to me. And I said to the parents, why are they looking up? And they said, because at 9:30 at Disneyland, they shoot the fireworks. I said, oh, that's right. And so I looked at my phone and I said, it's only 9:10. And they said, I know, we're trying to tell them it's not going to be for a while, but they keep looking up. You know why? Because they so wanted to see those fireworks that they begin to expect them. You know how powerful that is? That's the innocence of a little child saying, I'm looking, I'm expecting, I'm believing. The word expect again means to anticipate, await, look forward to. If you await an Amazon package, should you not be awaiting and expecting a better life? Firing myself up. So you got to believe, you got to expect, and then you got to receive. The word receive is interesting here. It means to grasp. Ooh. Some of you need to strengthen your grip on grasping things. Some of you let things drop. A good job, a good relationship. Come on, this is so good. So you got to believe, you got to expect, and you got to receive means to grasp it, to receive it, to hold it, to take it. So miracles are either coming or going. Might as well snatch one. In my life, I knew I was going to do well, but I didn't know I was going to get to do all this fun stuff. But part of the things that I get to do, they were there. And thoughts began to hit me as well as they hit you of, this is too big for you, or who are you to do that? Who are you to pull this off? But as Billy teaches you, and I teach you, that you got to renew your mind, as Elizabeth was teaching you earlier, you got to renew your mind, okay? And realize, no. This is for me. I'm not almost. I'm not most. I am an utmost person. So you got to believe in miracles. You got to expect them. Then you got to receive them. You got to hold them. And then you become a miracle. Woo! You know, you don't need to even go around telling us all the wonderful things that you're doing or that's going on. We could feel it in your spirit. We could see it coming through your eyes. We could see it in your body language. You can become a miracle. Or people say, how did they do that business that's now worth that much money? Or how did they break out of that situation? How did they go from that setback to a comeback? Guess what? You turn your mess into a message and you become a miracle. So you believe, expect, receive, become, watch this, and then you release miracles. To release means to let go. Wow. You become a miracle releaser. You know, one time I was on an airplane and the flight attendant said, Tim, would you do me a favor? I know you're here probably just to rest. And I go, no, what do you need? She goes, can I talk to you for like 10 minutes once the plane gets going for a while? I said, yeah. So she came and got me, and I went up where the flight attendants were, and we started dialoguing. And she had gone through a setback in her life. And she said, Tim, what do I do? I'm boxed in. Now I'm a single mother. I'm raising 2 kids. I feel guilty to keep working for the airlines because I have to leave the kids at home with a sitter or with my mom. And I won't give you all the answers I gave her, but I will tell you, after 15 minutes, she started crying. She says, number one, thank you for caring. Thank you for truly caring. And secondly, thank you for giving me such wisdom that has helped my life. So what did I do right there? I released miracles. I released a miracle mentality. Because I told her, this is not your forever. Being a single mother and raising small kids because your husband chose to leave doesn't have to be forever. And she wept over that. That's releasing a miracle. So, do you believe that miracles are possible? You got to believe, expect, receive, become. And then you begin to release miracles. And what begins to happen, Tim Storey? You break through the mundane, you break through the messy, and you break through the madness, and you need to write this down. You begin to reorder your disorder. Wow, wow, wow. You begin to reorder your disorder. I want you to write that down. You begin to reorder your disorder. And I'm going to teach you how to do that right now. You got to reorder your disorder to get to the place where you manifest big things. Like so many of the stars that I work with, the first thing I work on is I got to help reorder their disorder. Disorder in their family, disorder in their mind, disorder in their money, disorder in their point of view. What areas do you need to reorder your disorder and change things around? You know, some of you, and even in the house you live, you need to put that piece of furniture there and ship that one there and then throw that one away. You need to reorder your disorder. Okay. So I'm going to give you 7 steps, okay, on how to master the possible. 7 steps. I'm going to teach you how to reorder your disorder. 7 steps. Trust me, you're going to want to take these down. And I gave 3 of them earlier, but write all these down. Number 1, become awake. Number 2, take inventory. Number 3, we have not talked about this. Deep. You have to find the right partners. Become awake, take inventory, partner with the right people. I'm going to break this down though. Number 4, you need the right principles. Number 5, you need the right plan. Number 6, you got to be persistent. Wow, wow, wow. Billy talked about that earlier. Got to be persistent. Number 7, you got to stay on the path. It's like that movie, The Wizard of Oz. You got to follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. All right. So, Tim Storey, you're teaching me the art of the possible, that we can manifest this magical life from your perspective, from the guy that even writes books on it. Okay. So, how do I do it? You got to become awake. You have to take inventory. You have to partner with the right people. You have to find the right principles. You have to then step out on the right plan. Then the persistence you've already got. If you've made it this far in life, you're probably persistent. And number 7, you got to stay on the path. All right. So to wake up is to have that aha moment. We've talked about this earlier. To take inventory is to be very realistic about where you're at. A lot of people don't like to go to the doctor because they got to get realistic about where their cholesterol level is, or their blood pressure, or their real height, or their real weight, or their real age. You got to write a bunch of stuff you don't want to watch. Write down. So you got to watch. You got to become awake. Secondly, you take inventory. So you take inventory of your life. How often do you take inventory of your own life, Tim Storey? Every single week. I literally go through the different areas of my life. My mental, my mindset. I go towards my spirit, my physical body, what I've done or haven't done that week correctly. Okay. I look at my jobs, my finances, my family, my relationships, and I give myself a grade. Every week of my life, I give myself a grade. And to be honest with you, some Some weeks fluctuate depending on. So to live this magical life, number one, you become awake. Number two, you take inventory. Number three, you got to partner with the right people. Number four, you need the right principles. Number five, you need the right plan. The right plan. And don't be surprised that some of your plans change after the seminar. Okay? In a good way. Number six, you become persistent. And number seven, you stay on path. Okay? So I want to break down a couple of these right now for the sake of time. I want to break down number three, and I want you to write down the power of partnership. Oh, have I spent years studying this? I have so many pages of notes on the power of partnership. Now, there are three levels of partnerships that I want to talk about. And I worked out this theory with a good friend of mine named Dr. Helen Mendez, who used to teach at USC, African American psychologist. And there are three levels of relationships. Number one is the casual. Write that down, the casual. You meet them at work, you meet them at church, you meet them at the gym. You just meet them. It's casual. The second level is friends and family. So good. Friends and family. Number three is what I call the green room. The green room. The green room in my notes I write is a place of safety. I'm going to explain what the green room is. Just put it's a place of safety. It's a place of secrets. Okay. And it's supposed to be a place of rest. Now, if me, you, and Billy, okay, Elizabeth, if we all went and spoke at a big convention and there's 8,000 people waiting to hear us, so I'm putting you in it and answer that. So watch. They would say to you, okay, there's your green room. There's Oprah's green room. There's Billy's green room. There's Elizabeth's green room. There's your green room. In your green room, you can have this many people in it. You have certain snacks that are there. But I'm going to tell you something. Same thing like life. Some people are just supposed to be casual friends. Some people are just family and friends. But there are very few people that can handle your green room. In order for you to go from the mundane, the messy, the madness, and stay in the magical, you better guard your green room. So good. Who's in your green room? Can they handle your secrets? Can they handle your success? Can they handle the fact that you have graduated from one thing to the next? And do you find rest and peace around these people? That's a big thing. Who is in your green room? So, in order to get to the point where you master the art of the possible, you become awake, you take inventory, but you better check who your real partners are. Who should just be in the casual? Who should be just in the family and friends? Just because they're family and friends doesn't mean they should be in your green room. You got to be nice to them, but it doesn't mean they should be in your green room. The more I get around women that are powerful and get things done, woo, they watch who's in the green room. The more I get around powerful men that are doing big things, they watch who is in the green room. Because in that green room, you might share a great idea that you had. It's a magical idea. It's a masterful idea. And because of somebody's jealousy or because their lack of capacity to handle you, they may try to push you down in this thing instead of bringing you up. So I believe that one of the things that's going to happen in your life that will manifest in your life, if you allow it to, is that life will bring you people that can handle you and all the big things you're going to do, and you allow them in your green room. If you like the green room idea, just say yes to yourself or in a chat or something, because that is very, very powerful. With me in my life, I've had to watch who's in my green room now. I remember one of my friends called and said, I want to spend the day with Tim. And my assistant, who was very funny, she was with me for a long time. She said, he wants to spend a whole day with you. And she said, I just laughed because I don't have a whole day. Maybe Timmy Story when I was 17 had a whole day. Now I don't have a whole day. And then this man literally came at her again because she just gave him a lunch. And he said to her, I want the old Tim Story where you could spend the whole day with him. Think about that. Some people do not understand you have graduated. Things have changed. We're so kind to people, but some of us don't have a whole day. So watch this. You got the casual, you got the family, then you got the green room. All right, so to manifest this magical life, we become awake, we take inventory, we partner with right people. But then we have to have the right principles. We have to become people that educate ourselves. I'm thankful that you have signed up for this seminar, that you have paid for this seminar, because that means you are hungry for the right principles that will change your mindset, your body, the way you breathe, the way you do life. Look at all the things that we're offering on this Saturday. Okay. So you have to get the right principles because the wrong principles will take you to the wrong place. And the right principles will take you to the right place. You say, oh, Tim, that's so elementary. Really? Then how come more people don't live this way? You got to get the right principles in you. The right principles take you to the right place. And out of the principles, you start to create the plan. Wow. 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 When I decided to be a humanitarian, it was because of my principles. I cared about people. And I ended up going on to college and then went on in life and got higher degrees. And I did it because I had principles in me. I wanted to be a humanitarian. I wanted to change people's lives. And now to see what I get to do in prison reform, I love doing that. I work with the elderly. I love doing that. I work in the area of brain health and I help in the area of depression. I help in the area of recovery and addiction. You say, Tim, that seems like a lot, but to be honest with you, I love it because of the principles that are inside of me. When you start to get the right principles in, I write in my notes, the right principles will come out. You become awake, you take inventory, you partner with the right people, you have the right principles, it'll bring forth the right plan. And Billy will work on this with you some more today as well. Is that some of you are getting exhausted because you're not in the middle of the right plan. You're in somebody else's plan. Somebody else thought this up for you, but you're not in the middle of your plan. When you get in the middle of your plan, your idea, your divine door, you guys, there's nothing like it. Sometimes I go to a country and I got a 11-hour layover because something happened to a plane and I still don't complain because I know I get to get up in Nigeria and speak to 30,000 people. What a privilege to be right in the middle of my plan. So Billy's going to come on in just a few moments, but I want to ask you a question. Do you feel like you're awake? Do you feel like you've been taking inventory? Do you feel like you need to cut partners out? And if you have a question about this, I want you to come on and talk to me about your partners. Do you have the right casual partners or do they need to be cut back? friends and family, how about the green room? Who's in your green room? What do you think about that concept of the green room? We're going to talk about this. My name is Tim Storey. I'm talking about the miracle mentality, master the art of the possible. You're going to go from almost to most to utmost, but not in just one area of your life, but in every area of your life. Billy, we've talked about this before, but when you think about the green room, you got your casual friends,
Hmm.
you got your family and friends, and then you got the green room. What goes to your mind?
Well, we're talking about the circle now. So I learned early on, fortunately for me, that my circle needs to be a dot. My circle is literally a dot. The dot and .com. The dot, that's my circle. Very, very few people get to tap into my inner circle. I have a lot of acquaintances out there, but I
Yes,
have a few friends. And I'm closer to some people that are in that circle than blood relatives, because that's just the way it works out sometimes in this reality. Sometimes the people that you're related to, you want to hang on to them so tight, you want to keep them in your circle, but they're the most poisonous ones for you and for your circle. And there are in a lot of cases, the ones that are holding you back the most. Sometimes you got to cut ties with people that you love. And that doesn't mean you don't love them anymore. It just means they're not worthy of being in that inner circle. They're not worthy of coming into the green room. That's a private space.
that's so powerful, and I think that even by what you are doing and uh, speaking and courses and everything, really you're creating
Hmm.
a culture of people that have the mentality that we're talking about that may end up being coming closer than their own families, as you're saying.
Yeah, we're building a new community of people that are on the same frequency. And eventually, some of their family members and friends might catch up to them. But there's a new community being built. And this new community is going to become the community that helps become the problem solvers. You know,
Yes,
the people that are going to begin to stop focusing on the problems and start focusing on the solutions and start realizing all the divide and conquer tactics and stop worrying about separation and focusing on coming together and organizing. And so that's what we're trying to build here.
yeah, and because as you were saying earlier, how yours has almost become a dot because there's so much wasted energy that's coming with this conflict
Mhm.
that people are trying to bring to us,
Yeah.
including trying to make us feel guilty for doing well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. They love
And
doing that. No, they want you to feel guilty. Anytime you achieve any level of success, I mean, it can be the lowest level of success. Not that there's a low level, but something
yeah,
maybe that other people wouldn't consider as spectacular. They don't want you to have that either. They want all of it for themselves. If they can't get it, they don't want you to have it at all.
yes.
Yeah.
But I believe, as you believe, that we could master the art of the possible.
Hmm.
That it is a mindset. Um, One thing we noticed about each other is that even though we came from different parts of the world, there's like a mindset where our eyes just lock, like they get it.
Hmm.
And you've been around people like that before, haven't you? You just see a guy from a distance, and you're like, they
Hmm.
get it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's people out there that just totally get it. And for whatever reason, they can wrap their mind around the concepts and the construct. And then the most important part is they're willing to take action.
Yes,
So many people that I talk to are not willing to take action. You see, the people that are paid to watch us talk today and get this 10-hour lesson, these people are action takers. They took action. They pulled out their credit card. They typed in the digits. They used their PayPal or whatever they used to pay for this. They made a
yeah,
sacrifice for themselves. And
they
so these
did.
people are action takers.
Yes. Do you have time for a couple people that may want to respond to the green room or kicking people out or pulling people in or
Yeah,
anything having to do with the
let me see if I can
mentality?
grab a few more people from the text message here. Let me see if I can grab a few more people real quick before I hop on and start my presentation. See if we got a few. I'll text a few. If you want to come on here and talk to Tim Story, text manifest, hashtag manifest to 954-245-0086. But at the same time, I'm texting a link to a few people that did text right now. Let's see if I can get you guys on. Check your text message. You might be the one I'm texting right now at this exact moment. If I am texting you and you want to ask a question or answer this question with Tim Storey, just click on that link and it'll bring you right into this live feed. No software to download, no programs to install. Just click on that link and you'll be live on TV.
And then for those that are taking a break in your household, tell them Billy is about to start speaking.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to come on here soon. We got somebody here. Who we got here? Rod Brown. What's up, Rod?
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, Billy? Good to see you guys.
Hey, good to see you. Thanks for hopping on. Okay, Mr. Storey, you said what was the question you were asking again, Tim Storey?
Yep. So Rod, number one, did you learn anything from my session just now?
Just now I've learned quite a bit. Number one, I've found out that I've unfortunately fallen into the mundane section here. So definitely want to get into the magical. This is something that I'm ready to take on today. I'm definitely taking a lot of notes.
That away. And so what we're saying to you, because Billy and I, we believe in you. Okay. So this is a journey. But this thing about to break out of the mundane, you do have to become awake. And then you did take inventory. You took inventory already because you said, man, I feel mundane. The third step is to partner with the right people. And that's what you're doing right now.
Yep.
So I'm telling you, by the end of this day, we're going to break you out of that mundane.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay? So we believe in you and get ready for something big. You hear me?
Definitely. Yes.
Life is good.
Yeah.
See you later, Rod.
Good.
Hey,
Thanks for coming on,
appreciate you.
Rod.
Yes. All right, good. Thank you, guys.
All right. Bye-bye. And they got one more. We got a couple of people got the text but didn't hop on, but we do have Baba Bay back.
Oh,
Baba Bay from Fort Lauderdale.
yes, Baba Bay. How
Hey,
are
Baba
you?
Bay.
Yes, how y'all doing?
Good.
Great. Well, there's so much I learned from you today, Tim Story. Um, how to take notes and write things down. How to stay in your nowness right now. My circle is primarily out with the old and in with the new.
Mm.
I'm a yoga instructor. I'm thankful to say I'm a young 78-year-old. And what I do is I retard the aging factor. So you don't have to tell me I look good. I'll tell myself that. So it's me, myself, and I. Billy, I do know that we're going to meet real soon. That's
Absolutely.
for sure, because I'm putting it out there. I'm manifesting that you and I get together and I can show you what I can do and learn so much from you. Tim Story, you're going to write my story. You're writing it right now. You're writing it right now. And I'm just honored and thankful that I'm at this time in my life able to be a part of you. And then the sister that's helping me with this technology, I want to give her a shout out, Tamanika Odom, because I don't know what to do, but I know I'm here on this planet Earth to do something. So
Beautiful.
thank you, Tamanika, for helping me push the right buttons. Peace.
All right. Beautiful. Thank you so much. And we will link up because we're in the same city, so it's bound to happen.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
All right. Peace, brother.
Peace to you as well.
We got one more, and then I'm going to start. Wayne, how you doing, Wayne? I like the shirt already.
My God.
Good luck.
I'm blessed. Thank y'all. Peace and greetings.
Yeah. Peace. Thanks for hopping on.
Thank you.
So Tim was asking, did you have any insight for today? Did you learn anything from his session?
From my session, what was hitting you on this miracle mentality? Believe, expect, receive, become. Don't be a discount version of yourself. What part was hitting you?
Absolutely. all of it was great. And I, like you said, even like when you asked earlier, I knew that when I was a child, that I was destined for greatness. And because I remember like telling my grandma, I'm going to be wealthy. And funny thing is, she was like, "What are you going to do? Sell drugs?" I was like, "No, I just know it's not meant for me to be poor."
Beautiful.
You know what I mean? So it's something I always knew, and like manifesting is real time. Like I'll say something and it just appears like almost immediately.
Yep.
Um, but I was like, just like yesterday, I was on a 10x, and it was mindset. So and you just really confirmed that green room that really hit home. That green
That,
room,
that, that green room is real, boy.
that green room really hit home. Who you let in your circle, who you let close to you, who you spend your time with, is something that's a part that I really need to key in and focus on. So, like I said, thank you. I definitely look for the rest of the wins today.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Wayne, the last thing we'll say to you is, the beautiful thing is that you signed up for today. Your life is being changed. What Billy's about to take you into this journey that you've not been in. And the beautiful thing is you can watch this recording over and over and over again. There's certain talks that I'm not exaggerating. I've watched over 40 times before just to hear it over and over and over and over to get it. So we're having a life changing day, and Wayne, we're glad that you're on. Okay.
Absolutely, I can't wait to see you on the Egypt trip. I'm definitely working my way to go to Egypt with you as well.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to us. I'll see you in October then.
All right.
All right. Peace, brother.
Wayne. See you later. All right. So Billy, you're about to teach us, and I'm going to stay on and listen.
Okay.
And just give us a few little points of what you're going to give us. Just a little appetizer.
Well, we're going to go right into some science behind manifesting, some quantum physics. I like people to understand why 1 + 1 = 2, why 2 × 2 = 4. How do we understand what the problem is before we get to the answer instead of just memorizing answers? Because sometimes in the spiritual realm, it don't work out that way.
Yeah.
So we have to understand where we might be going wrong. And I want to show the link between science, mathematics, and the brain and how it connects to the universe. And then I'll get into some manifesting techniques to teach people how to become a master at manifesting. And then I'm going to get into, for the final part, financial literacy.
Yes.
Because studies show that 90% of people, and they ask thousands of people, 90% of people, when they think about what they want to manifest, it's usually a better financial future.
Yes.
That's like the top of the list. It's the number one thing on the list, 90%. So that's a big number. The problem is 90% of the world's population is not financially literate. So we have the want and the desire for that, but we don't have the know-how to get there.
Wow.
So I got to lay some foundation stones tonight so that people can figure out how to start the process.
I got my notepad ready.
All right. All right, brother. Well, thank you. You did a phenomenal job, Tim. I really appreciate you. Thank you for coming on today.
It's good to be part of the family.
All right, great. See you soon.
Bye-bye.